Continuing on the current theme of inexpensive Chinese pens, this is a very inexpensive Chinese pen. This is the Wing Sung 9159. It typically or almost always goes for less than $2. It's a very, very inexpensive pen. It's an extraordinary light pen. It's almost all plastic. It only weighs 14 grams. It's a very, very light pen. But it does have a couple of nice little features going for it, which we will talk about. Sort of an average size pen. Here it is compared to a Lamy Safari and a Pilot Metropolitan. So average, typical, slender pen. This is a white one. It does come in a bunch of colors. If you want to see a bunch of other colors of this pen in action, I would refer you to my video from a few months ago where I did a comprehensive review of 7 different black inks. And this was I used 7 of these pens in various colors to review the 7 different black inks. So I refer to that video if you want to get a good view of, if you want to see this pen in action some more, or you'd like to see what the different colors that are available are. This one is white. It does have yellow imprinted around the, gold imprinted around the cap band, Chinese characters, which presumably mean Wing Sung, and 9159. The gold paint does flake off. As you can see, it's already flaked off here. Doesn't seem to bother me, especially on a pen at this price. It's got a clip, very standard metal springy clip, not spring loaded, but springy, has the word Lucky imprinted on the band. And that is about it. It takes 1 and about a half turns to open. And it reveals a nice size section with a bit of flair for a pen this size. The pen obviously posts. Certainly you don't have to worry about back weighting or anything like that with a plastic pen that's very light like this. It shows, so again, unobtrusive threads, nice size section, decent nib. It's kind of a pretty two-tone nib. It says F for fine, has the Wing Sung logo and some scroll work. And it's got a clear feed. So I have a fairly dark ink in here at the moment. But this is a clear plastic feed, so it will pick up whatever color your ink is. It is a cartridge converter pen. It does not use, it's sort of a somewhat proprietary, I think it might, maybe the intention was to make it standard international, but I have not been able to fit standard international converters in here, nor has this converter fit other pens that are supposed to take standard international. So it's sort of an off-size converter. It does come with the converter at that price, so you don't have to worry about it. The good news is, though, this pen is highly eyedroppable. It's got a nice fine threads here. I put a little bit of silicone grease and I eyedropper it easily for the black ink demonstration. So all the pens you saw in the black ink demonstration were eyedropper filled. That's mainly one of the main reasons I used it for the demo, because I wanted to make it a little easier for me to clean. I didn't want to have to clean out converters, etc. So you can eyedropper this pen. It's all sealed up, ready to go. So, and I have not had a problem with eyedroppering it. So the good news is you have it for less than $2. You can get a nice pen with a nice nib that is eyedropperable. So that is about it for the external features of the pen. Let's see how it writes right now. Okay, what we're writing with today is a Wing Sung 9159, and this has got a fine steel nib. I like the way this writes. It's fine, so you have kind of the amount of feedback that you would expect for a fine / extra fine Chinese nib. I like the amount of feedback that it has. Some people might, I wouldn't call it scratchy, I would just call it feedbacky. It's got a little bit of feedback, which I like. If you really wanted to, I guess you could smooth this out a little bit. I would not bother with this because, again, I kind of like the amount of feedback that's on it. But I think it writes really nice. It's comfortable. It's moderately smooth, like I said. I'm going to say smooth-ish. And definitely writes well. I would have liked a medium nib in this. This is almost a little too fine for my taste. But all in all, I mean, it's less than a $2 pen. What do you expect? This is cheaper than most disposable ballpoints. So I think you're not going to get too much of a nicer or better pen for this kind of money. And like I said, you can eyedropper it. I mean, that's just fantastic. And eyedropping, like I said, you don't need a gasket or anything like that. As a matter of fact, you can't really fit one because the gasket would inhibit the cap from going, the O-ring would inhibit the cap from going on, but you can just simply put a little silicone grease on here and eyedrop it right up. And I have not had any problem with eyedropping it, so it does work well in that respect. So what more can I say about this pen? There you go. Let's talk about the ink, shall we? This ink, let's do it up here. This ink is from Birmingham Ink Company in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is Birmingham. Little Italy. Eggplant Parmesan. This is how these inks come in these cool little bottles from the Birmingham Birmingham Pen Company in Pittsburgh. I have a couple of different inks from Birmingham, and I've always been pleased. They make nice inks, interesting colors. They name all their inks after people, places, and things in and around Pittsburgh, which is kind of nice. This is a eggplant colored ink, no doubt about it. Makes me a little hungry even using it. So it's definitely the color of eggplant. That is a good name for it. So it's that particular muted shade of purple, I would call it, but it is nice. There is not really much of anything in the way of shading or anything like that, so it's a sort of a no nonsense, no special effects ink of that particular color. But I do recommend it, and I like it a lot. I really like the way it looks. Again, it almost looks gray or black unless you look at it closely. So if you're writing in a notebook at work or anything like that, no one's going to say, "Oh my goodness, you're using purple ink." You probably won't get anything like that. So it's sort of just a interesting ink with a little bit of character and a slightly different color than probably a lot of people are used to. But I like it a lot and recommend it. And they do a nice job, Birmingham. Well done. So I think that might do it for this episode. Nice, inexpensive pen. Nice, relatively inexpensive ink. I think we got a couple of winners this week. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. If you did not, please leave a comment and tell me why. But in any case, have a good day. Bye-bye.